Hey, I want to just invite you into Love My Dubb, hashtag Love My Dubb Show. And we're going to be talking about how you can personalize and why it might be important for your brand when using Dubb, doing outreach, building relationships, and having a lot of fun, connecting, starting conversations, and growing your business. Because you're only one conversation away. And that's why hashtag I love my Dubb. So let's get started.
Hi, Scott Sullivan here. A lot of you know me as Sully. Dubb has doubled my business in the last year. You are about to go on a journey with Russ Johns. Welcome to I Love Dubb.
Well, the best thing about Dubb is the fact that I can make so many personal contacts with it, and it's so on point.
Why do I love Dubb? Let me count the ways. One, because my friend Russ Johns uses it and he knows things.
We're back. We're having fun. We're looking forward to a nice, wonderful afternoon on Wednesday and talking about Dubb, one of my favorite tools in the whole world. And that's why I created this Love My Dubb show and the website and everything that goes along with it. And also, I invited Reuben and Rob to the party because they also are fans of Dubb. And, you know, I think Reuben had something to do with creating it. So how you doing, Reuben?
Hi, Russ. How are you? Hey, Rob. Great to see you guys. Yeah, thank you so much, Russ, for this opportunity. This is what it's all about for us. You know, it's the most exciting thing in the world, humanly possible, to be able to do this job, to be able to help people, to build connections, to communicate, to express themselves, to share stories with other people, and then build mutually beneficial relationships. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, and you guys have done a tremendous job on the Rev Show, and I just want to make sure that I give a shout out to the Rev Show and all of the things and the content you're creating, the lessons you're sharing, and some of the things that you're doing in the community to make it easy access. And I just got off the phone earlier today with one of a potential customer that was learning to understand. They've already talked to Darius. They've been through a few trainings and they had some questions, and it's about community and building relationships. And one of the things that we want to talk about this week is personalization, because building relationships and also including your brand into the conversation, I think is important for continuity and building a consistency in what you're delivering as a message, an image, and all of the things that go with that. So you guys have really built up the Rev Show. So talk a little bit about that for anyone that might not be fully aware of it and what you're doing over there and your goals behind it.
Well, I'll set the stage, and then I think Rob's a better person to explain it. But I'll set the stage with this. Rob and I, when we connected and we decided to partner up, we said we have to be creating content. We have to have fun in the process. I think those are the two requirements. And we had a small little office, is what we now call our closet. And no windows, just a small little room. And we sort of put this very inexpensive desk, a webcam, and then I think this mic was the same. I think that's the only thing that's the same. And because we've always been about good sound quality, at least as good as we can get. And we started to create videos, and we didn't have a brand, we didn't have a show title, we didn't have a theme. We were still working it out with our personalities. You know, how much of this is education, how much of this is entertainment. And then we did that a bunch of times, and then finally we landed on Rev Show, and that's where I pass the baton to you, Rob.
Yeah. It was a lot of iteration, from the beginning, and Ruben came up with the title. Rev Show sounds better than Revenue Show. so Rev Show just has a better feel to it. So Ruben came up with that, and then we've just kind of worked it out with our personalities in terms of having fun back and forth. We didn't want to lose the conversational piece, so when we do some stuff, we want to be able to interrupt each other and joke around. But the whole point of Rev Show is to really entertain, elevate, and really educate a lot of sales leaders on different strategies. Strategies that they might not even be aware of, or maybe strategies that are called something else. And when we mention them, like, oh, I've heard of that. That's pretty cool. Like the giving advantage, the benefits method, quantum selling, which is something Ruben came up with. So if you haven't seen that, check out Rev Show, Quantum Selling. If you really want to shorten the sales cycle and bend the time, space-time continuum. So,
right.
But it's all about connecting. We want people to check these episodes out and really understand when you have a strategy, as long as you bring it to the authentic part of who you are and make it your own. Make it your own is like the biggest thing you can remember. I mean, how often on, the singing competitions, when someone takes a classic and they sing it and they make it their own, it sounds so amazing. So you can take a strategy that's well known and make it your own.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, amen to that. And that is why I believe one of the key benefits of being able to personalize Dubb helps in that continuing storyline and being able to, kind of illustrate some of the ideas that you may represent. If you're in certain industries, you want to be able to represent those colors, those logos, those brands. And talk a little bit, Rob, about how you feel or how you think about personalization as somebody on the team and somebody that's been involved in this process for yourself.
Yeah, I think we all have to bring ourselves to the table. We can't go watch someone. You can study all the greats in terms of, there are orators that you enjoy listening to, and there are certain salespeople that you like their styles. You can take something from each one of them, but you've got to, again, internalize it into yourself and make it your own. It's like when you're memorizing a script and acting. You can understand the character, but you've got to internalize it, and the way you bring it out is through the vision of you. So what we've decided to do with branding is, look, there's an overall Dubb umbrella in terms of what our branding is, but each one of us has a different personality and brings that same goal in mind, but we go there with different paths. So I think people out there that have either corporate branding or small business branding or whatever their role is, there are certain branding guidelines that you will be given probably from your company, and you can play within those guardrails. So if it's more of a relaxed company atmosphere, pull out the relaxed part of you. If it's more buttoned up and a little more professional, pull that part out of you. As long as you are being yourself, you can fit into any branding. You've just got to make those slight adjustments.
I love that. And I love the way that you guys have developed over time, because I think I was probably one of the first people that was able to snag Ruben on a show. And I think we called it a jam session. Yeah, it's been a couple of years now. And I just really appreciate the evolution that you guys have taken and some of the things that you've developed, because it's quality content. The people you're interviewing and the people that you're engaging with, it allows you the opportunity to continue to focus in on what's important and what's necessary to build the Dubb brand, and also hear stories about how others have built their brand. And I know, Ruben, you've probably got a few stories about how others have used Dubb to grow and expand their brand as well. Maybe you can share a few.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. The story I'll start with is an experience that I had where I had the opportunity to work I was working in this office, and in my breaks, I would go to it was a sort of the corporate headquarters side, and there was a retail side. And I would go, and I'm not going to say the name of the company, but I worked in my breaks. I would go to the reception, the retail reception, and I would just be behind the desk and kind of experience what it was like to be with them. Plus, the people that worked there were a lot of fun to hang out with. They were great personalities, a lot of fun. So I'd take my breaks there, and I'd sort of work behind the reception desk and just sort of hang out with them and watch. And I remember this experience that I had where, whenever there was something awkward, something funny, something rude, something wrong that occurred at this place of business, a lot of the times the people behind the desk, the people at the reception, would sort of make kind of certain comments, certain negative comments, maybe a little joke here, a little joke there about whatever took place, sort of laughing at the customer and just saying, oh, that person's such a pain in the butt, right? And can you believe they complained about the cold coffee, whatever, right? And I remember in that moment, and I remember the first day or so, I was like, oh, ha ha ha, that's really funny. This is funny. And then I realized very quickly that that's the opposite of what we should be doing. That is not kind. It might be funny, it might be humorous, but it's not the right path. And I realized that, here this major corporation is with this office, with these customers that are going in, that are having complaints, that are expressing their needs and saying what it is that they want. They want hot coffee. They want better customer service, better customer experience. They want, a bathroom key that they can take to the bathroom and not have to wait and run around to get the key so that they can use the restroom, these certain simple basic needs that they had. And I remember thinking to myself, whenever I start my next company, I never want to ignore the customer. I never want to laugh at the customer behind their back. I never want to make it seem like they're the pest. The customer is wrong and we're sort of giving them lip service. I want to always prioritize the user base, the member base, the community with what it is that they're going through, and to actually create solvable solutions so that they can fix their problems. And then as a result, have a better overall customer experience. Now, here's the most amazing thing about this is that when someone at reception is not incentivized to sell or to market, they have no incentive to make that customer happy, to get them to come back, to become a referral, to get their friends in. They have no incentive to do that. They have a simple job of just saying, how do I manage this front desk? And that's when that's when the triad started to enter my mind, which is number one is that, customer listening is absolutely critical. And that is what dictates the evolution of the product. It's not that we create a product and then have customers and then create a product. It's we need to listen. Well, let's see if I can get this right. It's not that we create a product and then find the customers. It's we find the customers and then create the product. And that's just reverses the model so that we focus on listening. So listening is really, really important. Number two is this idea of we all want to sell and we all want to market. It's job stability at a bare minimum, right? And it's massive career potential and compensation at a maximum. Not to mention all the satisfaction that you get from doing a good job, in your place of business, in your work. So number two is this idea of integrating marketing. If we integrate the customer experience, if we have a positive experience for our customers, then our marketing gets baked in, our sales and marketing gets baked in, because frankly, our customers can become our best sales and marketers. Because if they had a good experience, they're going to go tell their friends. I went to such and such business place. Yep. The coffee was perfect. You got to go there, right? Little things bring in customers. So customer service was number two. And then I think number three was this idea of evolving the experience, that iteration. Let's take the data, let's take the experience, and then let's go fix, let's go evolve, let's make it better. And then of course to rinse and repeat. So that kind of triad of, listening, customer service, and then iteration, I think has been the crux of our growth. And Russ, I wanted to give you a huge, big, fat shout out for allowing us to listen to you and to evolve and to become better, so thank you, Russ.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, as a reminder, we talked about the gas pan method last week, where, and it's almost the same evolution from the other perspective. It's grab their attention, address the audience, provide a solution for them. And this can be applied in the customer service role as well. Grab their attention, welcome them, ask them what they are looking for, and make sure that you listen, you address the audience, and then you have a solution. And if the solution is, I don't have the answer, allow me the opportunity to go find somebody that has the answer. And then you can you can continue with proof, and you can actually do what you say you're going to do and follow up and take action and just continue to improve that. Like you said, iterate, and make sure that you have an opportunity to do that. So I think it's important for people to understand that that is truly what the brand is about. It's, the logo has a representation. However, the brand is what people say about you when you're not around. It's really about how can we make an impact across all levels of the business, whether you're, the person at the receptionist desk welcoming somebody into the office, or answering the phone on somebody that's having a panic attack because something went wrong with their piece of equipment or whatever it happens to be. We all need to be cognizant of that piece of the business, because if we can't all speak from the same script of music, then there's disconnects in our business, and that's what really impacts a lot of people.
Hey, there's nothing worse than musicians playing the wrong key in the same song.
Well, it's like Rob was saying, you can make the song your own. However, you want everybody playing the same key, right?
Right.
Yeah, if you want to make it your own, you want to make it bad, that's your choice.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
And for the musicians out there, I'll plant the joke. Don't play in B sharp.
I don't get it.
Or you'll see flat.
Or you'll see flat.
All right. So, Rob, I want to make sure that is there anything else that we missed about the idea and the concept about branding? I know Joe here is big in the retail space, and he actually has an amazing product, Caffeine water. And it's just one of those things that I really love, the mango, Joe. I love it. And the reality is that by setting the tone at the top level and making sure that everybody up and down the ladder all understand what it is we're doing, I think it makes it much easier for people to understand what's the goal, what's the direction, what's the flow that we're going to take, and where we're going to go with it. We lost Rob for a minute. Maybe you could take it up, Reuben.
Well, I'll start with this. There is a song called Hallelujah, which is one of the best songs ever written, Leonard Cohen.
Yeah.
And that song has been covered 1,000 times by so many amazing musicians. And my favorite cover of that song, probably most people's, is Jeff Buckley. Rest in peace, Jeff Buckley, right? He died at the young age of 30. Really, really sad, tragic death. He had one album called Grace. And when Jeff Buckley wrote this, when he covered this song, Hallelujah, the way he sang it was truly profound. I mean, it was sad, it was dark, it was fresh, it was different. It hit number one on the digital song charts, I think in 2008, and it had this continual sort of revival. It still shows up in the musical zeitgeist because it's so profound. And I kind of go back to what Rob was saying, where Rob says, there's frameworks out there, and that we can sort of generally kind of not copy people, but be inspired by people and their formats, and then, to use his words, make it your own. So I think what Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah, and if you don't know the song, just please Google it when you get some time. You don't even need good speakers to enjoy that song. It doesn't even have a kick drum. It's just vocals and a reverbed kind of guitar. It's unbelievable. Make it your own. Make it your own. So I'll pass the mic to Rob, and maybe Russ, you could rephrase the question for him.
Yeah, Rob, sorry you dropped off, but what we wanted to do is talk about the idea that making it your own, and why it's important for business owners to go up and down the ladder, to have everybody understand what the mission, the direction, and also where we are headed, what's true north for our organization. So we know what the intent for our branding needs to be.
Well, in sales, unless you can have the specific person goal that you have when you're reaching out with people in sales in general, if you don't have that, you have to go to the industry mountaintop. So you can use the same model in terms of having your own company. If it's a small business and there's a small number of employees, well, then you have the luxury of going to their individual mountaintops and then tell them the mountaintop of the company. If it's a larger organization, like an enterprise organization where there's just thousands of employees and the numbers are higher, then it's really, really, really important about each individual understanding the mountaintop goal of that company. It gets filtered down to the managers. Those get filtered down individually to what they express as salespeople, managers, marketers, but they're all on the same page, because if a company doesn't have a North Star, then what are they looking at? It's like being out there adrift in sea and you have no idea where you're going. Because the danger of not having the North Star is you could have so many different thought processes where I thought the company goal was this, but it wasn't that. You always want to have the top level of the company filter down in terms of their goal, everyone's goal, and then you bring your individuality to that. But you've got to be clear on the North Star.
Yeah. And for anyone in a large organization, if you've ever had to develop a communication plan and a strategy for that, self promotion here, I think an internal show with a podcast would be a great way to communicate broadly across all levels of your organization. Just saying. So if you want to have some help and strategy in developing that, give me a holler. So just saying.
RussJohns.com. That's where it's at. It all starts there.
And then if you want to call and talk to me, bookruss.com. Super simple, easy access. The thing that fascinates me about branding is and people think of it as branding as being part of the logo, the look and the color and the feel. But I think it still goes back to the idea that we have this concept that we need to really plant a seed in. What direction are we going? What is the true north? What is our goal? And how do we interact with our clients? How do we interact with their community? And how do we develop relationships? And one of the things that I want to, from a more technical perspective, we can set up some of the look and feel in our Dubb account. And it's very flexible and it's very available to us. However, it still goes back, and this is why I love video, just like what we're doing here. I love the idea that we can actually interact and have conversations, just like, people coming up like Liz Lawless and saying, hey, thanks for the great insight into branding and customer listening. You have to listen, you have to understand, and you have to appreciate what the customer is asking for. And the companies that do it well, they succeed. They make changes, they make adjustments, and thank you, Reuben, for allowing me the opportunity to share my thoughts and my opinions about what Dubb is doing and how it's helping me. And so I feel like I have ownership in this, and I feel like I have at least a piece of the puzzle in a tool that I can use, and I could be a fan of, and I can help grow, and I can help inspire other people to use Dubb as well. So it's so important.
Thank you for saying that.
Rob, talk to us about what's some other things that we haven't talked about yet. Talk about the idea about how evolution takes place in a storyline, because that's the next version of the company is like, okay, we're going someplace, and because of technology, because of some of the ideas in sales and the process and cold calling versus relationship building, what are some things that we need to think about as we grow our business?
Well, evolution is important in everything. It's important in your personal life, business. You can use the word evolution and throw it anywhere in terms of learning, getting better, taking the data that you have and using that data and start to smartly apply different strategies, whether it's in sales, marketing, business, relationships, whatever it is. So you've got to be listening, like Reuben said before, but you got to be listening not only to the other person, but listening to the data. So that's really, really important. So Dubb is really based on a lot of that. So when we send a video out, those are trackable and you can know the action of that person. So when you mentioned cold calling is hard. It's always been hard, but it's hard because it's not an optimal listening environment. So when you have someone and they receive a Dubb video and they watch it, you can see their action, reach out to them immediately and smart call them as opposed to cold call them. So as soon as they pick up that phone call, oh, wow, Rob, you're calling me because you sent me that video. And I want that I watched 20% of it. Right. What about the other 80%? So there's a lot of communication that immediately happens once the environment is improved. So I think as far as evolution with businesses, we're in a world now, our good friend over at HubSpot Scott Brinker. He's the head of ecosystems over there. One of his big things he talks about is being creative, and he talks about being able to pivot really quickly. Well, the world we live in, well, because of the technology, we can go down a marketing strategy, go down a sales strategy, and we can pivot in a very short period of time based on data to know the smart way to go. So I think you've got to keep your eyes open, be aware about pivoting, constantly look at the data for evolution. You don't want to be evolving in the dark. You want to evolve smartly, and a lot of the data allows you to do that.
I love that. Anything that you want to expand on, Reuben, for that?
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. You know, that's what it comes down to. If you're uncertain how to do something,
never give up.
Never give up. First, get on YouTube for 20 hours. Just spend 20 hours in the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and watch everything you possibly can on how to do something. If you just sign up to Dubb through Russ's link, Russ, can you share your link, your Dubb link?
Absolutely.
Click on this link right here from Russ, sign up for Dubb, and then go watch 5 hours of footage that we have on how to configure your Dubb account, how to send video, how to record your screen, how to use the Dubb desktop app, how to use the Dubb mobile app, how to create automations, how to send email SMS campaigns, how to configure your presets, your calls to action, you know, everything that there is to use on Dubb, and become an expert in it. You can do it in a couple of weeks. I'm certain of that, if you get some experience and really prioritize it. And then watch what happens. Watch what happens for you and for your business. And that is my pitch. And, you know, like I said, stay on YouTube and educate yourself there. Get a paid account so you don't get those ads and those less sort of recommended videos. And anytime you watch something random on YouTube and you don't want to get the algorithm telling you to keep watching that, just say don't subscribe to this channel or don't recommend this channel or content like this. And then watch what happens when you go invest in yourself. And then, of course, not give up.
And I want to remind everybody also that I've created this website specifically to support this community. You know, if you could book a free mini course, and it actually will take you through 6 days of, you know, some ideas and activities and some things that you can actually learn from Dubb as well. And also, if you sign up using my affiliate link, I'm offering a 30-minute strategy session for anybody that uses that link. And then also, all of these episodes are now available on the Love My Dubb show. So you can go to the Love My Dubb, and you can go to the archives and check out these other episodes that we've done through. And I'm going to continue to, you know, populate this. So you have the resources, you have the ability to connect, collaborate, get some support. You know, just book Russ for just a quick phone call and ask about it, because we're here to help each other out. And my mission in life is to help more people. And if you grow, we all grow and we all win. So I just want to make sure that we go back to Reuben's point, never give up. So, you know, experiments create experience, and that will allow us to continue to evolve and build our business. So just remember that you have an opportunity to do that. So we've got a couple of people in there. Thank you so much for joining us, Joe, Liz, and also Chris Hennessy jumped in earlier. So I just want to thank everybody for, and thank you, Karinder. Love the interview, you guys. More than happy to make the connections and introductions. So anything that you need, reach out to us. You know, this is a community. This is something that we do every week at 12:15 Pacific Standard Time. And this has been the Love My Dubb show. So thank you so much for joining us today. And Reuben, appreciate you. Rob.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Always appreciate you as well. And thank you so much for being here. We're going to jump off, and I'll be sharing some things. And don't forget to go to the LoveMyDubb.com and check out the past episodes. If you haven't checked them out, there's some nuggets of knowledge there. I think Reuben has also some other acronyms that he's shared out in the past that are incredibly valuable. So any last words, Reuben?
Well, the acronyms are so good that I can't remember all of them, but I do remember GasPan. If you could remind me of the first one, I want to go find that.
I'll have to go find that. So,
Nice.
Rob, what
Thanks,
say you?
Well, just remember, when you use video for sales, you're creating an experience. If you don't use video and you're just doing your text-based messaging, that's just an exercise. People have seen that before. Give them an experience.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate you guys. Until next week, kindness is cool. Smiles are free. So you enjoy your day.